Oh, come on! Let me narrate something for Team Good. It's what I live for!
No. Actions have consequences, wizard. You quit mid-episode and I had to take up the slack with no prep.
Okay, I'm sorry. It was wrong to abandon a commitment.
The amount of pain and inconvenience you could have caused our viewers cannot be ignored. If it weren't for my quick actions and improvisation skills, the whole Night Below campaign might have been derailed.
I wouldn't go that far.
You might even say, I'm a hero.
That doesn't make sense.
A paladin of YouTube.
But now you're just pushing it.
Begone, villain. I can't associate with anyone of your alignment.
But you're the evil one!
La 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 la, paladin of YouTube.
All right. Don't keep the audience waiting.
Now that the villain has been repelled, minions, let's dive back into the campaign. When we left off, the team had just fought the ghouls to a standstill and retreated to make a new plan. It's the time of troubles, and there's no divine connection. How will they overcome the horde of undead? Let's find out as the Night Below campaign continues. As always, the action is recreated using the Order of the Stick Monster for Every Season cutout minis. The players: Claude as Dub, Neutral Good Dwarven Thief, level 8. Grant as Rotkill, Neutral Good Dwarven Fighter, level 7. Les as Aneshk, Lawful Good Human Paladin, level 6. Ron as Valletta, Chaotic Good Human Cleric of Tymora, level 7. Sean as Octavius, Chaotic Good Human Ranger, level 5. And guest player: you remember him as Kurg from Team Evil. Matt returns as McTavish, Lawful Good Human Kenzai, level 1. While licking their wounds from the battle with the ghouls, the team is joined by a familiar face. Valletta arrives on the scene, having followed them from Quipper's farm, his player, of course, having rejoined after his absence. With him is an old acquaintance, a dual axe-wielding warrior named McTavish. With them is Valletta's henchman and fellow cleric of Tymora, Kelflin. The group's paralysis wears off, though the group notes that this lasted for hours instead of the usual several-minute duration typical for ghouls, another enhancement of the ghouls at this shrine that they must consider. Once he can speak, Dub launches into a berating rant calling out his fellows as idiots, his main point of contention being that they had the audacity to rescue him from certain death in the tainted waters after, of course, considerable effort to raise him from the dead previously, and dare to flee before anyone else got killed while leaving his precious +4 defender sword in the Black River. He further accuses them of only using him for his skills and suggesting they only want an indentured servant. Whatever was going through the players' minds is anyone's guess, but the NPCs were of course subject to a reaction roll. Boris reacts negatively to Dub's tirade. Tyranno is neutral, while Quipper is positive. Roleplay ensues. Boris spits that Dub is ungrateful and he moves away wanting nothing more to do with him. Tyranno says nothing, while Quipper offers support through polite and constructive suggestions, including that, while the Defender Sword is a magnificent weapon, Dub is untrained in its use and it doesn't benefit the group in his hands, whereas Aneshk is proficient and in his hands it's a mighty weapon. As the conversation continues, Dub proposes that once they defeat the ghouls and recover the weapon, that he will trade it with Aneshk in exchange for the magical short sword in the paladin's possession, a weapon that Dub is proficient with. This plan is agreed to, but they must still succeed. The team debates about their next move. With Valletta and Kelflin present, their holy power is increased, albeit not by a lot, as the time of troubles means their connection to the gods is severed, save for some minor abilities and spells. Daryl is also still gravely injured. Valletta offers healing, after which Daryl and Rotkill leave, heading back to Quipper's farm with the intention of alerting Maxim the werebear, as well as sending word to town about the threat. Grant then brings in one of his alternate characters, Kindrith, neutral good half-elven fighter cleric of Lathander, level 4/4. Our patented contrived character entrance sees Valletta and McTavish's arrival retconned to include Kindrith, who is sleeping on the wagon through Dub's tirade but wakes up before Rotkill and Daryl depart. The team considers waiting here and resting, then lighting the forest on fire before going back to town. They also tally their supply of holy water, which, thanks to Valletta's timely arrival, is in good supply. After a back-and-forth debate, they decide that time is of the essence and resolve to tackle the temple immediately lest the ghouls spread out after nightfall. Daryl and Rotkill are returning to Quipper's farm to recruit Maxim, but it's 2 days before they would arrive back. Resolved to do or die, the team heads into the forest to battle the ghouls, but they have a plan. Knowing that despite the effects of the Time of Troubles, the Paladin's aura of protection still radiates, and that the ghouls are hedged out until anyone within its range attacks. They plan to move into position where they will hold while Kindreth spends 10 minutes casting a chant spell. The team will surround and protect him in case they are wrong about the hedging power of the Paladin aura, but they are sure that the gambit will work. Once the chant is complete, Valletta will further bless the team, at which point they will launch into battle, while Valletta will cast an individual protection from evil on Kindreth to ensure that no ghouls can touch him while he maintains the chant. The team arrives back at the temple and quickly rush to the front entrance to set up their formation before the ghouls can react, and Kindreth begins his chanting. That's a good plan. I wonder if anyone will screw it up. As Kindreth starts the long spell, Dub breaks formation and moves to the temple where he uses Valletta's rope of climbing to scale the wall for an elevated position. The ghouls emerge from the temple and surround the group, the Paladin's protective aura keeping them at bay as planned. McTavish is tense and eager to strike, but the others tell him to hold until the casting is ready, though he questions what's taking so long. Nearing the end of the required 10 rounds to enable the chant, Dub throws a flask of oil from up on the wall hoping to create a puddle in the doorway, but his throw is off and actually hits a ghoul. 4 ghouls turn to the dwarf on the wall and move to climb up and attack him. With the chant complete, the team launches their attack. The DM rules here that they can have 1 free surprise segment due to the situation, and rolls normal surprise to see if the ghouls are caught off guard by the team's sudden strike once they are ready. A 2 is rolled, giving them 3 segments. A fun little exchange happens with McTavish that outlines the potential for interesting actions with surprise segments in AD&D 1E combat. McTavish uses segment 1 to throw an axe, scoring a hit for full damage. He uses the second segment to step forward, grab the axe, push the ghoul back with a kick while pulling the axe, and using the third segment to throw it again. I can really visualize that as a cool cinematic exchange. Quipper annihilates 2 ghouls with his surprise segments. Kelflin and Octavius likewise devastate several ghouls in the pack, while Laneshk annihilates 3 himself. The combination of Bless and Chant proves immensely effective, and they destroy half of the ghoul force in front of them right off. As the battle rages and the ghouls die, the team notices that for every dead ghoul, a black column becomes white again. Dub battles the ghouls on the wall, and some solid hits with his darts cause some to fall as they are climbing. Eventually, however, the ghouls manage to push him back to the end of the long wall, then land a hit. Dub fails a saving throw and falls down, taking some falling damage, though fortune favors him and he falls outside of the temple. As is their modus operandi, the ghouls turn their attention back to the rest of the group, leaving him paralyzed and out of commission for now. The press of battle pushes into the temple, where the effects of the chant can't reach. Kindreth ceases to chant and joins the melee. As well, at this point the bless is worn off. The remaining ghouls rally to their leader, the ghoulified girl. After the group advances into the temple, the ghouls charge forward. A barrage of claw attacks sees Aneshk paralyzed, but Boris keeps fighting. Octavius had planned to rush in and attack, but seeing Aneshk paralyzed unnerves him and he instead retreats. Boris also falls back. The ghouls, after having regenerated due to the dark power corrupting the temple, follow and form up in the doorway, where the fight continues. But outside the walls, the magic of their gear reasserts and the team dominates the battle. After losing more minions, the girl retreats to Aneshk's frozen form and commands the group to stop or she will kill him. They ready up and collectively decide that Aneshk wouldn't hesitate to sacrifice for the chance to destroy such an evil, so they spring into action. Aneshk is helpless, so winning initiative means the ghoul girl will be able to form the coup de grace on him before anyone can get into melee to prevent the instant kill. Initiative is diced, and a tie is scored, which would see the ghoul girl killing Aneshk simultaneously to any player actions, but McTavish's +1 to initiative for being a Kensai enables him 1 segment advantage over the ghoul. Since he declared a charge, he is able to get into melee range and engage before she can kill Aneshk, thus saving the paladin's life. The others divide and engage with the remaining ghouls. Quipper and Boris take down 1 ghoul, but not before Boris is paralyzed by an attack. McTavish is battling the ghoul girl, but the dice gods smile and 3 attacks against the first level Kensai, whose AC is merely 8, turn up a 1, 3, and a 5. Thaco's 16, AC 8, only an 8 is needed to strike McTavish. Lucky indeed. The girl, realizing that these relentless warriors of virtue won't give up or give in, tells them that her patron will find them and consume their souls. The last of the ghoul minions is down, but not before the henchman Kelflin is killed by a severe attack. Octavius and Tyranno pull the paralyzed Aneshk and Boris out of the temple, while the girl retreats to the altar. Kindrith, McTavish, Valletta, and Quipper corner the girl. Tyranno pulls Kelflin's body out with the rest, where Octavius keeps watch, just in case he turns. The ghoul girl is outmatched by the 4 warriors as a barrage of devastating hits destroys her completely. The final column transforms white, indicating that the last ghoul is dead. But another turns black just as this happens. Outside, Octavius's precaution is merited as Kelflin does indeed turn and wake up. The team is ready for it, however, and they put him down before anyone else is hurt. With the death of the last ghoul, the temple's corruption finally lifts, and the water runs clear again. In the aftermath, the group performs a thorough search and finds a batch of treasure, including Aneshk's tower shield. With the water clear, the submerged location of Dub's lost defender sword is also revealed and easily recovered. Dub and Aneshk make their previous agreed-upon swap, putting an immensely powerful weapon in the hands of the already immensely powerful leader. Oh dear, don't mess with this paladin, minions. Strength of 1890, meaning +2 to strike and 4 to damage. A +4 defender blade, giving him a net +6 to strike and +8 to damage. Yup, he'll be carving up enemies like a Harvest-Tide roast. They examine the fine hoard of treasures, and after burning the bodies of the ghouls and saying the last rites to the fallen, the team retreats to Quipper's farm to recover. The session then concludes. Wow, what a battle, minions! That was so exciting that I don't care that it was fellow undead that were obliterated. Mind you, they were merely bottom-feeding ghouls. Filthy marrow suckers. This scenario, now being complete, affords us the opportunity for a deep dive. It's a ghoul encounter from the Book of Lairs, a wonderful supplement with short encounters readily suited for insertion into any ongoing campaign. A ruined temple in the middle of nowhere, which the DM here labeled as a Temple of Gaia, surrounded by a flowing river. One that is meant to be extremely toxic, though the DM forgot about that in the moment during Session 1. Dub by rights should be dead again, but a combination of luck and DM hiccup means the dwarf continues to breathe. A quick note, minions, about the ghoul tactics that you may be wondering about. Why didn't the ghouls kill the paralyzed foes instantly? Well, this may seem like a bit of a DM gimme, but it does stem from established ghoul behavior, where they instinctively leave all paralyzed targets alone and focus on active threats until they can eat in peace. A known fact in this world that players can exploit. This particular scenario sees the temple having been corrupted by some force that is raising ghouls. The ghoul leader here is meant to be articulate and will negotiate with players if they seem overly powerful. That's right in the setup. When on the temple grounds, the ghouls do regenerate, as you saw, though the DM interpreted protection from magic as just simply a full anti-magic zone. Such delicious malevolence. I knew there was something I liked about this DM. This scenario could be a cakewalk by players, or it could be a slaughter. It really depends on the party composition. For this group, it would easily have been the former if it wasn't for the time of troubles severing the divine link to the gods. Valletta alone is at the point where ghouls are auto-turned by his ability to turn undead. Though in this scenario, the ghouls are protected from turning while inside the temple, of course. But the combination of depowering and the anti-magic zone made this encounter a frightful challenge. One they were still able to beat, but not without taking some licks, and earning it. The treasures here are a mixed bag. Some are not quite the boon they appear to be, but spoilers, minions. I don't want to reveal too much quite yet on that front. As for fitting the scenario into the Night Below setting, this encounter works well enough, though I feel the timing with the Time of Troubles made it fit just that much more into this specific campaign, as various malevolent supernatural entities will use the absence of the gods to make their moves. Something that will come up again before too long. Well, minions, I hope you enjoyed that. Team Goody Good has lost all of their retainers and a henchman, but they are still a force to be reckoned with. More adventures are coming soon, as they continue their investigations into the events in Heronshire. Behind the scenes, things are happening too, and everything is coming up to a climax really soon as the PCs near the end of Book 1, The Evils of Heronshire. Stay tuned, minions. Exciting stuff looms. Ta for now.